Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Modern Morgan will be joining me, but before I get into that, I definitely want to shout out my sponsor at Spirit Tree. So if you're in the Austin, Texas area, please make sure you guys download Spirit Tree to your phones and use it to order your food and drinks. All right, that being said, man, let's get into this one. So she is a poet, an author. Man, not only that, but she's an entrepreneur. Let's have our frank conversation with Modern Morgan, and thank y'all so much for tuning in. Are we live?
Yes, we finally have it. I'm so sorry.
No.
It wasn't working.
Hey, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Just thankful to have you on. Thank you so much for your time and for joining me this evening for a frank conversation. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me. I've been so excited about this all day. I know it's going to be a really good conversation, so I'm ready to. Oh, look, my husband's on too. He's all throwing his little hands up.
Hey, what's going on? Follow me back. I'm going to follow you. All right. Now, so and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you're from, is it New Iberia? Is it Iberia? Okay, so yeah. You're from New Iberia, Louisiana, right?
Yes.
Now you know how superheroes, they have an origin story.
Uh-huh.
What do you feel like your origin story would be?
Okay, so look, and you look so like ready for this.
I
know
am.
how exciting it is, because New Iberia is not the most exciting place. Mind you, we are known for our sugarcane fields, our hot sauce, where Tabasco's from.
Yes,
known as being the hottest, sweetest, and saltiest place in the country.
Yeah.
But I like to think that hidden between those fields and, in the country, that there are so many empowered women and people that are ready to change the world in small minds from small towns. So that's really what I want to do, and help people talk about things that they might not normally feel comfortable talking about, whether it's mental health or personal struggles or just the daily, lessons throughout life. Right. That is my superpower, and I am so happy to share with everyone.
Nice. Now, so what would your superhero name be?
Okay, so Wonder Woman is taken. So
that one is gone.
Taken. And it has to be. I already have Modern Morgan as my blog and everything, so maybe we can keep it Magnificent Morgan or something.
Look up in the sky.
Motivational Morgan.
Okay. I was about to say, look up in the sky. It's Magnificent Morgan flying in to save the day. Now, you're not only a blogger, a writer, a poet, but you're also a business owner, right? How has those experiences been? And that's a lot of hats to wear, but it seems as if you're juggling it pretty nice. But how has your experience been as an entrepreneur?
It's been actually very well. I would say I've really been in the business environment since I was a child. My dad started the traffic control construction company when I was just in 3rd grade.
Right.
So I grew up in that industry, and he was also involved in politics since I was 3. So growing up around the political arena, growing up in construction and things like that, I got very comfortable at a young age because I was always in rooms with people, I would like to say, that are smarter than me, or that knew something that was very important but not everyone really talks about. You have to have construction and traffic. Anytime you get in a vehicle, it affects your everyday life. So you think of things from an economic standpoint, and then you also think of things, whether like political, for example, from an empathetic standpoint, because you have to not only be able to, get funds to help your community, but you also have to have the empathy and intellect to converse with people from all different walks of life that have a variety of different, concerns for their community. So that's where the family business really helped me. And then about 2 years ago, I started my own company where I do professional writing, political consulting, and design. So it's a lot of different hats, but I guess because they've all come on me slowly throughout my life,
Right.
I really couldn't imagine it any other way.
That makes sense. That
Mhm.
makes sense. Man, wait, so I feel like there's a lesson there, right? That you must have pulled at some point in time. You know, what do you feel like was the biggest lesson like that you pulled starting your own business?
I think that starting my own business and really what led to that, because you have to think a
Mhm.
lot of what I was accustomed to was providing products
Right.
and things of that nature for the state. But when I started my own business, I had to have confidence, which was something that I never really had before. That I didn't really acquire until I'd say, I mean, I'm 29 now, but it took me some time, and I had to have confidence because now my business is my talent. So I have to be comfortable enough to say, okay, you're running for office. I can give you a speech that will speak to these people or things like that. So
Yeah.
one of my lessons was that a small mind or a naive mind or a girl's mind will not work or be sufficient in a woman's world, in a man's world, in the professional world, because that's a hard lesson I think a lot of us have to learn, especially people that are so used to being in a bubble of sorts, is that everyone has a different motive, different intentions, different goals, whether it's products or projects or personally. So it's to be mindful of all those things and put yourself in a position to where you could not only grow but learn simultaneously, you know, and stay humble.
Of course, of course. So wait, so you're 29. So wait, you were born in 91?
Yes.
All right, real quick question. What cartoons were you watching when you were growing up?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby Doo was it for real?
Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo came to mind first. But you have to think we have the old school cartoons.
Yeah, we do.
We had Cat Dog, the
Yeah,
Rugrats.
yeah.
I was the little sister, so we had Power Rangers, and I was always Kimberly. You know, like
Oh,
we had all those things.
you know what's
But
crazy? I,
uh,
I I was always the Blue Ranger.
yeah,
It was my favorite color. Like, man. So
Shaggy.
so re- really quickly, I want to dive into another portion of you, right? And this was the portion that I saw on iberianet.com. You have two quotes that echoed within me even after I read them. I said, "Oh wow, this is a good one." And you said, "For me, I had to learn my life is not supposed to be perfect. No one's life is perfect. I'm supposed to pursue a life of purpose and progress over perfection." And then you went on to say later on that I had to go through a complete mental breakdown, fall on my face. The thing that changed my life the most was falling, learning from my mistakes, seeing who my friends are. Pain is one of the best catalysts for change if you allow it to be.
Mhm.
And as I said, I almost got that tattooed on my arm. Pain is one of the best catalysts for change if you allow it to be. Almost, I was
Yeah.
this close. I was like,
Yes. Hey,
ugh.
keep it going. Keep it going. Just do it.
So my question is, you said that you had to go through a mental breakdown and things of this nature, but what events brought you to these conclusions? What got you there?
So, and I'm happy that we're talking about this because I feel like, if someone reads my book or anything that I write, I really am very raw when it comes to mental health.
Right.
And I feel especially responsible because I feel like a lot of people in our community don't. You know, we wait until someone's repassed to say, oh my gosh, I wonder what were the signs. And a lot of times people don't expose their pain for a multitude of reasons, whether it's they don't really know how. They
Right.
might be used to being the strong friend or having everything together. And I was always that person, like,
Right.
I'm going to figure it out, or I'm good, I got this and I got that. And I got to a point like, no, I don't have it. And I'm trying to live up to what I think I want to be or what other people expect of me. And I really don't know who the hell I am. And I hate to say it like that, but that's where I was. And though I was doing well and my ego was up here because I'm having consecutive wins, my confidence, my strength, my hope, my my just idea of myself was plummeting. And I was very depressed. And I think a lot of that too added to the fact that if you don't know who you are, you don't know your place. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know who you are to people. People don't know who they are to you. It's a lot of disorder. So when I say like mental breakdown, people will hear that and they might think, something like on TV and you're in this like suit hugging yourself in a cell or something.
Right.
And it's not that. It's being to this level at which you don't even recognize yourself. You don't recognize your thoughts. You don't recognize the things that you're saying and doing. And it was a lot of depression. It was a lot of anxiety. It was a lot of being out of character in every way. And I suffered in every aspect of my life. And I always tell that to people because we get so hung up on, oh my gosh, I'm taking one step forward and 10 steps back, or here's a problem, now I have another one. And we don't sit there and say, why? Why do I feel like this? Why am I going through this? This isn't normal. This isn't healthy. And God had to put me in a position to where I had to feel like I was at a place where I could lose everything. I could lose myself, my passion, my career, my family, everything I've worked for, everyone I love. And that's when he really gets your attention and makes you realize, like, what are you here for?
Of course.
Why, he put me here for a reason.
Right.
Why am I feeling this way? And a lot of times you realize that you're in that space because you've been trying to be someone or something that you're not.
Of course. Somebody just dropped in there, how do you get out of that place?
Number one, be honest with yourself.
Yes.
It's so easy to say, like, I'm having a bad day and it's going to be a great day tomorrow. Good. And every day you should. But if you're having consecutive bad days, if you are going to work and the trash can under your desk is filled with tissues because you cry all day and you hide it from people and you're literally screaming in the shower, or you look at yourself and you can't recognize yourself, you look around the room at your friends, you love them, but you don't understand what they're even there for. There's a problem. And be honest with yourself, because the more you try to stay comfortable, the more stagnant and uncomfortable it's going to be.
Of course. Have you ever, even after all of this growth that you've experienced, after all of this, the experiences that you've had that have pushed you to this point, have you ever experienced something else that has caused you to abandon your self-love and be like, I can't, it's just not in me today?
I don't know if it's abandon my self-love. I think that I had a call coming through. I think that we're on the journey, and I mean this you're going to notice I have a lot of spiritual reference for things because I always question stuff. And like when you do seek mental health or physical health, okay, you really are not completely healed from something or growing in something if you're not spiritually understanding where you are and understanding what you're healing from, which is why anxiety and depression, you have prayers targeted for that specific thing, because it is a spiritual attack as much as it is a mental. So, and I just lost my train of thought for a second with that call. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
One more time. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So, I said abandon your self-love, but you changed that. Have you experienced something that caused you to, that maybe was a setback in your when it came to self-love?
Yes. And it is, and that's why I got on the spiritual little train going that way. But sometimes when we're growing, we will come into those things that want to derail us from that journey. It might be people not accepting this new you, because a lot of times when you do get this newfound self-love, or you have, these boundaries, or you value self-preservation, you're not the same Morgan you were. You're not the same anyone that you were. And you get backlash. And sometimes you ask yourself, is it even worth it if I feel like I'm losing everyone? Like, should I love this person? Because no one else does, it seems. And in those instances, you're tempted to just go back and be mediocre.
Yeah.
And but you can't. And I think I can't say I have gone back, because at this point of the journey, I think I've been stripped of my ego so much that now I know who I am, and I love who I am, and I accept who I am, and I understand I am not a perfect person, but I love this person. And the world needs this person. I need this person. My husband needs this person. The person that I'm going to be needs this person. So I can't throw her away.
Of course.
And I always remind myself of that.
Of course. Of course. Now, Questions, Christ, and the Quarter Life Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
That is the title of your book. And you touch on the topic of friendship. You know, what caused your views and standards towards friendship to change with time?
Okay. So I'm just going to use the phrase that makes the most sense. And it is, as you grow, you simultaneously outgrow. Right. So as you grow as a person, and as you heal and develop mentally and spiritually, you really look at yourself and you realize the excuses you've made. You know, like you might do something and be like, oh, well, that's just how I am, and that's just how I think. And you get to a point where it's like, no, but that's not healthy. Or no, I'm not tolerating that anymore. Or no, that's not suitable for the person that I'm about to become. And then you look at everyone around you. You even look at the music that you listen to, the things that you wear, the places you go, the people whose conversation you entertain. And you realize, I stopped making excuses and tolerating excuses from myself and for myself. And I have to apply that same concept to the people around me. And I can't have a mindset or a goal to grow and want certain things and surround myself around people that don't. And I'm not saying that you have to drop all your family and friends. But I think, number one, you need to identify who those people are. You need to identify who your friends are, your real friends, and take an assessment of who's there for the highs and the lows, who sees you trying and tries to help you, who sees you struggling and tries to pick you up and encourage you and remind you of who you are, and who tries to condemn you or talk about you or allow others to talk about you. You got to be honest with yourself. And if you can't honestly see a reason to be around a person, it doesn't matter if they grew up down the street from you, if you're related to them, if your grandmas were best friends, it doesn't matter. Because you can't go anywhere if you're holding on to weight that's not meant to help you. You're just going to hold yourself back. And I think if we would understand that friendships change as we change. You know, my best friends, I appreciate, and I always have, but I appreciate them so much more because I know their loyalty. I know that they're real. I know that they'll put me in my place if need be, or they'll pray for me, or they'll be there for me. But I'm too old and I have too much that I'm working for to surround myself with people that I have to second guess if when I walk out the room, I'm going to be the top of the conversation. I can't do that anymore. I respect myself and I love myself too much to not know the people in my life and the positions that they're supposed to have.
Right. Man, you said a word there. You said a word there, and it seems like one of the qualities that you definitely touched on is discernment, the power to discern those that are there for you and those that aren't. And well, how do people develop that? I mean, how do people develop that skill?
Honestly, you pray for it and you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that from, I was always a very naive person, and I know my husband, he can definitely vouch for that. You know, it's a good thing to be an empathetic person. Right. And like we had mentioned earlier, like I grew up really surrounded by country lifestyle. Literally everyone down the road is related to me. Even across the street is another side of the family. So, right. You know, I didn't have to really have discernment because the people around me were protective of me. I was overprotective, if anything. So I was very trusting of people. You know, if someone told me something, well, they must be telling the truth. Why would they lie? That was my mindset. And God had to put me in a position to where I understood, number one, you need to discern other people have different motives, and you need to discern yours. You know, we love to say like, oh, these people, you know, they did this or they said this or they take advantage of us or they treat us badly. But what is it in us that allows them to? What is it in us that lets them see I can get over on him or her?
Right.
You know, you have to pray for discernment and stop painting prettier pictures with red flags. So it's kind of just taking what's in front of you for what it really is and trusting your gut. And if you feel like, man, I feel funny around this person or I don't like their energy, don't stick around and figure out why. Listen to your gut.
Appreciate that one. Appreciate that one.
I learned these lessons.
You just it's you know, it's the fact that it just, you know, if I feel like for you, you know, it comes so easy to like, hey, like this not like it's not the same for everyone, you know. For me, every now and again, whenever I give out, you know, because I teach for my day job, I teach, right? This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But my day job, I'm a teacher, right? So, you know, when it comes to them, I'm able to give them, you know, lessons from these interviews that I have, you know. So from you, like, I'll take this back to them and I'll put this in their lives, right? But you know, it's just getting these lessons from this source, right? From you as a source. It's like, wow, like you have been through it, and in your mind you decide to document it, whereas there are people that will just go through these things and just let it go, like, oh, okay, and then they'll just find themselves back in the same pattern. And as someone who really did that, you know, because I just to be absolutely honest with myself, like I was someone that would fall into the same patterns until it took something like just had that made me say, no, you know what, I need to find out what I'm here for and get on that path, right? So it's amazing. It's just amazing to hear from you, you know, like because the way your delivery is just absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
No, it's no problem. Hey, I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, so now Amazon says, and because you know I had to do at least a little bit of research.
Yeah, you did your research. You're into newspaper articles and everything. I'm like, oh, what else does he know?
I had to. I mean, you know, anytime someone says, "Oh, hey, yeah, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do an interview," I'm like, "Oh, bet."
Oh yeah, you did your homework.
But it says Amazon does say that, you know, your goal is to crush the image and pursuit of perfection by captivating the raw beauty of sincere progress. Now, one, I love that because, you know, it seems as if people just discredit the progress because of the, you know, the little snapshots that they see on Instagram, on social media, where it's like, oh, hey, this is the ending. This is after I did all the work, you know. But let's talk about how your goals, how have they evolved and grown, you know, since you first wrote your book?
Well, mind you, the book really took off, and it's one of those things, and I know it sounds crazy, but when I started writing it, a lot of people, when they ask me like, oh, how long did it take you? This book has literal inserts from years ago. Because mind you, I'm a writer. So when I feel something, I'm not a reactive person. I'm more of a reflective person. So like if you say something or you do something you're purposely trying to get me out of character, I'm typically not going to respond to you. I'm going to reflect about it. Or if I'm going through pain, or like there were times when I was in counseling literally 3 times a week, I would write about it. Because especially in those times, like, okay, I don't think anyone's going to understand where I'm at or how I feel. But if I jot it down, I'm not being held hostage anymore. And it's like free from me. So when it came to writing the book, I pulled a lot of things verbatim, put them in it, because that's how you're going to know how that raw pain feels. I mean, everyone remembers pain, but it's not quite the same like when you're experiencing it right then and there.
Gotcha. And that's very true. Everyone does seem to remember the pain. Do you feel like pain should be part of the should be part of the reason why we progress to be better people? Or yeah? Or yeah?
What was the or? What was the or?
My or is I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna forget it. But no, I guess my or is, you know, or should it should it always be something positive? Should it always be something intrinsic? Because, you know, I mean, pain can be intrinsic, right? But
Mhm.
you know, should it always be something negative that causes us to say, hey, you know, I'm tired of being in this situation. I need to get out. I need to go ahead and grow from here.
Mhm. I think pain is one of those things, and I didn't understand it. And I was literally thinking about it today, especially because we were having this talk.
Right.
And as I brushed on, I was always that perfect person. Always did everything right. I never made mistakes. I never got in trouble.
Right.
Everyone, I was just always the good girl my entire life. Nothing was ever wrong with me. So the idea of pain was foreign. So when I did experience pain, it was literally like falling from cloud nine and falling flat on my face because I
Mm.
didn't know these emotions. I didn't understand these feelings. And you know how they say you're like a sponge, like nothing can come out of you that's not already within you. So all of these emotions started coming out and all of this like just insanity. And for a while, like I felt like I was mourning myself because the person that I thought I was didn't exist anymore. So I had that pain and I had the pain of confusion and just so many other things. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for it because pain got my attention. And I feel like God uses different things for different people. Some people are very motivated by money, and money's great. You know, everyone has bills, but they live for their money or showing their money. So when God wants to get their attention, guess what? Your hours are cut.
Mm.
You get a, you know, your tires go flat. You have this issue. You get sick. He messes with your money because that's how he gets your attention. And I'm an empathetic person. So it's like he had to say, okay, you see this pain that you're in? Until you get these lessons, until you see what I'm trying to say, until you change what's in you, I'm not changing anything around you. So you can go and be upset, you can go cry, you can complain, but there's something in you that has to be fixed. And when you fix it, even if it seems like the world doesn't understand you, doesn't like you, thinks this about you, you know, doesn't accept you, you will not have any pain. You will have nothing but peace because you learned the ultimate lesson. And he uses pain, whether it's, and I always try to tell people, like, obviously be mindful. Like, I'm not saying that if you've gone through a traumatic experience, be like, oh, yay, my life is turned upside down. Yay, pain. Thanks, God. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, you know, because sometimes people really don't understand, especially when you write. People misinterpret things all the time because a lot of times you read things from a view of projection. So if you're going through something, like they'll be like, oh, well, I guess you can say that because you're not going through this. Well, I don't know what you're going through. But what I am saying is that there's always an opportunity in pain, whether it's to get your attention, whether it's for you to focus on your health, your life, or your priorities. Pain has a purpose, and you can either use it as this obstacle that keeps you bound, or you can use it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself and what you want out of life and what you don't. And it's always up to you.
Man, you know, man, thank you. Yeah, once again, I appreciate that. You know, you told me once, sometimes getting out of our own way seems to be the most difficult endeavor. However, we have to look at the lessons instead of the time we lack. Every step of the journey counts, even the detours. And I feel like, you know, that right there, although it's another worthy tattoo.
Yeah, all these tattoos.
All these tattoos. Another worthy tattoo. But you know, that was also another quote that I feel like really ties into that topic of pain and how it can be used, because I feel like the detours are the most painful parts. You know, being off of that path that you feel like, hey, this is what will get me to. This is what, you know, will get me to what I feel success is. Right. And I, you know, and funny enough, as time has gone by, and I know this is somewhat of a departure from, you know, our current topic, but as time has gone by, my mindset on, you know, the success being the goal and success actually being the path has changed. I feel like now that success is actually that journey of growing, and like inside your Amazon bio says, it's actually that progress. That progress is what success is now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, literally last week, it's funny you bring that up. I posted about success and how success is relative. Okay, success means different things to different people, and I would say early 20s. I thought success was having a big house and making a lot of money,
Right.
having, some sort of power or prestige or people looking. That's success. That's what everyone wants. But I have come to learn, and I truly appreciate that success is more about meaning than any monetary thing, any material thing. Because I don't think I'd be successful. I would not feel successful. I can have all the money in the world. But if I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing, I don't have people in my corner that love me and want what's best for me, people that I trust, if I don't have direction, discernment, or a desire to be a better person, then how successful is that? Like, that's what we miss most of all. We want the outer thing. We want to look good, but do we feel good? We want to have money, but if you have all the money and you're putting it to try to get yourself to feel better or take all this medication to make you balance, or focus because you're so trying to feed what everyone expects of you, then how successful are you? That's not success. And I feel like we wait till we get to that sinkhole to understand. It's not what other people want. It's not even an idea or like a look. It's how you feel. It's peace and purpose, and just that is the real success. That's the real power.
Your superhero name is Sage.
It's Sage.
Sage. That's
You know that negative energy out.
Like, yeah, because all of that.
Budget.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Like yeah. Your superhero power is gonna be telekinesis, teleportation, mind reading, and emotional manipulation.
Oh wow! Well, not emotional manipulation.
You got
emotional intelligence.
Okay, I'll give you that. Emotional intelligence. There it is.
Yes.
All right. But
we don't want to manipulate.
Yeah. We don't want to manipulate. We don't want to do it. We don't want no negativity. We want just straight positivity. So
right.
Emotional intelligence. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Right. Now there was I'm sorry. I just got off track when I said. But no, there was I want to call back to something that you said about self. What is it? What do you feel like it is inside of our society that just detracts us from really focusing on self-love? And because I feel like personally, it's our lust for money and power and prestige, right? Versus and that really, because we all have that. That's our current vision of success, but so that detracts us from being able to focus on loving ourselves and and experiencing what is best for us. But what are your thoughts?
I think it's many things and many levels. Number one, social media, and I say that because I used to be a person, and it's so funny when I tell people I was the selfie person, and I can't even tell you the last time I took one. But like, I'm here. Let me show y'all where I'm at. Look, I get good grades. Let me show you my GPA. Like, it was always a thing. Like, I have to prove myself to you.
Right.
And especially when it comes to men and women, because people forget about you guys. But for women, you see these perfect bodies, and you starve yourself, or you eat like an ungodly amount of protein because you want to have this figure.
Right.
But you don't understand that they bought that figure. You don't understand that this person is giving their life and their money and their dignity away for you to literally like them or their photo. And we as women have to understand that our bodies are not perfect. There is no such thing as just a flawless person inside and out. And I think social media leads us to forget that we feel that we have to share so much of ourselves. And my husband and I tell him that all the time. When right before I published the book, I was talking with this agency in London, and this girl was giving me advice, and she said, I can see, like, I don't really like to post a lot of personal things because that's a lesson I also learned in life. You don't post your next move. You don't post what you're doing, your happiness, because the world is flesh. The world is jealous. The world is, assumes. The world might want what you want or don't want you to have what you want. All these different things. And even for yourself, you'll compare. Like, okay, I went here, but I should have gone there. I stayed here, and this person stayed at a 5-star place. Not even realizing that person didn't even have a good time. They just spent their savings to take a picture to make you impressed.
Right.
So, like, we don't realize how much we do to impress others. And then we wonder why we feel so depleted, because we put all our energy into them. Imagine how good you'd feel. And I say this for myself. Whenever I started focusing on my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, I started looking better, feeling better, thinking better. Because my energy wasn't on what you think of me. My energy is what I think of me. And if I look good, and no, I don't have, I might not look like some people, or I might not be another person's image of beauty, but my beauty is inward out. And that will always be my strength. And that's what and I would have never said that, because everyone looks at, oh, I'm a guy, I have the perfect body, or I'm a girl and I have that changes. That anyone can always go and buy what you have to look like you, but they can't take your talent. They can't take your personality. They can't do any of that. And that's really one of the things that you hold on when you find self-love, is that nobody else could be me. And I love me, all of me.
Oh, all right. If you're watching this, hug yourself and love yourself more. Hug yourself. Do that. So man, you're so right. You're so right. Now let's talk about support. How does that look to you? What does support look like to you?
Like as a person, or just like qualities?
Well, as far as from who's your biggest supporter, and what separates them from everyone else?
My husband is definitely my biggest supporter.
Hey!
I'm saying that. I hope he might not even still be on here, but he was here. But no, he truly is my biggest supporter. He's my best friend. And I say that because it's one of those things that we brushed on earlier. People that love you and that are with you, they're with you for the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the sickness and in health, the vows, okay?
He's here.
But oh, look, he says, I'm here, God. Such a clown. Yeah, he's the fun one. We balance each other out. Like, I'm more of the, like, serious, nerdy one, and Rusty's like, it's not always that deep, Morgan. It's going to be okay. So he keeps me laughing. But he really is. He always has my back. He's always there to push me and encourage me. And that's not something that everyone wants. You got to think, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is very deep, very personal. For some people, it's embarrassing. Right. And to have a partner that's like, listen, like, I accept you for you, and I see what you're doing and what you want to do for other people. Your testimony is my testimony. Do it. Go for it. Like, if you need something, I'm there for you. I mean, I was literally putting my makeup on because, again, I work in construction. So I was in the warehouse all day. So I had to go put some makeup on.
Right.
Set the lighting up and everything for me so I'd be good for you. He thinks about my goals and his goals, and it's not just about him. And he sees me, I swear, sometimes better than I see me. So that's a huge support and someone I definitely value. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. This tear right here is for you. This right here is for you, bro. Good. That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. Oh, renewing my hope and love. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But no, sincerely speaking, I'm definitely speaking y'all happiness and success into existence, man. I really love that. So I have only just two more questions, and and I also want to definitely make sure that we find out how we can support you as well. But so the goal of this show is philanthropy. Right, getting the onlookers to put their energy towards a charity or nonprofit or that you care about. So, what charity or nonprofit would you like to highlight today, and why is the cause that it faces so important to you?
Okay. Well, I'm actually on the board of two charities.
Okay.
And we didn't discuss this; they're local. But I was always on the board of Angel Paws, which is animal rescue.
Got it.
But actually, as I was going through my journey and growing, I got a heart for the homeless. And it sounds weird, but when I explain it, I think it helps other people also get that same mindset and understand. I think a lot of people, and I was always a person, like I was quicker to give to an animal than a person. And that sounds so horrible. But it was also because I lacked experience and understanding of what it is to be a person in the real world.
Gotcha.
And if 2020 didn't teach us anything, is that your life can change in literally an instant. You know, you could have all the money and then you lose your job, or something traumatic happens, you lose your family, or you fall into hard times, or you develop a mental health issue and you can't get help because no one around you has those resources available. And if there's any charity I would want to give to, it's definitely the homeless, and I can give you that information for either my local shelter or, you know, a homeless shelter that's near you. But guys, we have to understand that a lot of these people, that they did not just wake up and say, I want to be homeless. They could have been 29 having conversations like we are right now. They could have been a year ago in a completely different space, and now here they are. You don't know where you're going to end up. And you don't know if one day that'll be your child or your parent or your sibling. You know, you have to empathize with other people and understand it's not your business what they're doing with this money or this food. It's not your business how they got there. It's your business if you cross paths with someone, if you can help them, you do. And you leave it alone. So that's definitely a charity that I really support, and it means so much to me. And like I said, it took me humbling myself and seeing myself in my life and the real world for what it is to understand how important it is to help the homeless.
Most definitely. So what's going to happen is this: send me the information for the homeless that's near you. That's in New Iberia. We want to definitely make sure that, you know, we're touching all over the world. I'm trying to build this to where, like, hey, you know, like the next day you see like a bunch of people just helping the homeless, like out in New Iberia. Like, oh, okay, all right, you know.
Yes, let's definitely do that.
Yep. So yeah, I'm definitely send it to me, and what I'll do is I'll include it inside the description of this video. Now, also, you know, before we close out, we always want to leave with wisdom for the next generation, because I know that there are some people that there are some young people that do follow and watch. What words would you have for the young people that are currently struggling with self-love and self-acceptance?
There are so many. As you can tell, I'm very long-winded. So you got to give me a second for that.
Oh, take your time. I'm here for it.
I think that if there's something I wish that I would have known and understood as a young woman, it's that you have to give yourself the grace and the mercy and the forgiveness and the healing that you need to be you. You know, you're not going to be liked by everyone. You're not going to be understood by everyone. And everyone has an opinion. But at the end of the day, you were created for a purpose. There's something in you that the world needs. And as long as you're trying to be who everyone else wants, we'll never know. And you'll never know. So be yourself, you know, fall in love with who you are, the good, the bad, you know, the past, whether it's positive or, you know, even looking at those, you know, those hard times. Look at everything as a lesson and understand that every step of the journey has a purpose. You know, like we said, pain has a purpose. Positive things have a purpose. You have a purpose. And don't ever let anyone take that from you or try to hold you to their image of you or hold you to an image that you once were or what people believe you are. You're more than that. So be that and walk in that and you show the world who you are. And if they're smart or they're meant to be in your life, they will be. But don't force anything or anyone into your life or into your journey that's not meant for it.
Amen. 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 So now, how can we support you? Shout yourself out. Go ahead, give us the socials, give us what we need to do. How can we help?
I usually don't do this, but follow me at Modern Morgan on Instagram. I'm also at Modern Morgan on Facebook. Order my book, Questions Christ in the Quarter Life Crisis. I have a link in my bio, or you can search it on Amazon, and it's available literally internationally. Just click the link of the country or the area that you need, you can get it. But if you've learned anything, or if you take anything from this, it is that we all have value. Every one of our experiences, the embarrassing experiences, the chapters that you're so ashamed of, are the most valuable because they taught you the most. They humbled you. So please don't feel, you can't tell everybody your testimony because some people just want tea. But for the people that need that confirmation, the people that cross your path because they need your word, give it to them. You know, spread love, spread empathy, spread your experiences, and learn to accept and love other people.
Amen.
That's really what you take.
Man, thank you so much, Sage. I appreciate you. Yeah. And I'm so sorry. That is all I'm calling. Look, that's literally what I'm calling you that for the rest of your life. Like, Sage, what's good? Oh man.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this, and it was definitely, I love depth, and I love talking about things, as you know, that maybe other people don't want to talk about. Like, we're over these corny challenges, social media, okay? Let's talk about the real stuff.
Right, because we need it. I mean, we really do need it, you know. And like I said, that's part of what I want to do. Like, this is literally what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And you should, because you're great at it. You really are.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean that. Me and Sage, we both mean it.
Hey, appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, you know, it's been. I started in January, and now, you know, it's December, so hopefully. Yeah. You know, hopefully this just continues to grow. And, you know, like I said, the goal is just to really help people, educate people through the conversation, but also get those that are watching to say, hey, you know what? I just watched that interview. I'm going to go out and help somebody else out, you know, and do that. But, yeah. Right. Thanks again. And I hope I hope you have a blessed, amazing evening.
Thank you. Same to you.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, if you guys did not tune in time, because that was Modern Morgan. She joined me for a frank conversation. Once again, I want to shout out my sponsor, Spirit Tree, and shout out to you guys for tuning in. It says there's some guy from India that was in here. Okay, thank you for the love from all the way from India. Once again, you guys, I'm Ezel Moon, and if you enjoy the content, please consider giving a donation as well to $Ezel Moon to keep this going. Love you guys. Y'all have a blessed, amazing evening, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Ezel Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me at EzelMoon_ on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people.